Harold makes a wish. Harold gave it some real consideration. After all, it wasn't every day an opportunity like this presented itself. The genie, floating above the spout of an antique brass lantern, crossed his arms in frustration.
Hey man, if you need some more time to think about it, that's fine, but maybe I'll just wait inside. I'm freezing my ass off out here.
Harold shook his head. He had it down to two possibilities. He just wasn't sure which one to pick.
I just need one more second. Just give me one more second.
See, Harold was a simple man. He really didn't want for anything in his life. He could have done with a new lawnmower. The old one was getting pretty old, and he had a lot of trouble starting it up nowadays. And so that was the first possible wish, a new lawnmower. However, truth was, Harold could well afford a new lawnmower. Moreover, Harold could be picayune about lawnmowers in general, and he would be mightily disappointed if he wished for a lawnmower and got the wrong one. But what you really got to know about Harold is that all Harold ever wanted was the best for his son. Harold's son was the light of his life. Where Harold was never much of a thinker, his son had graduated from Harvard and MIT. He worked as a nuclear physicist in a private lab where he was in charge of designing a functioning nuclear reactor. Now, Harold didn't know much about his son's work, but now and again his son would complain to him about the difficulties he was having.
God, it's so frustrating.
Harold's son said once over Thanksgiving dinner.
I thought the move to fission was the key, but it just isn't. We just can't make it work that way.
Harold nodded along to his son's complaints, understanding none of them. Still, Harold hated to see his son in distress.
Son, I know I'm just a simple farmer,
Harold had said.
But, well, if there's ever anything I can do to help you out, I just hope you'll let me know.
Harold's son laughed a little at that, though he seemed to appreciate the sentiment. Then he said something that presently Harold could not get out of his mind.
Sure, Dad.
He'd said with a smile.
If you ever get a chance to weaken the strong nuclear force, you just go ahead and do that. That'd help me out a lot.
Well, Harold stored that away as a remote but helpful possibility. When he bought the cheap brass oil lantern at the local flea shop and this genie popped out, suddenly the possibility was a lot less remote. The genie sighed.
Look, it's no big deal. Take your time. I'm just gonna sit inside and...
But Harold's mind was made up. He was tempted to call his son, but he didn't want to ruin the surprise.
I'm ready,
he said. The genie rubbed his hands together and breathed on his fingers.
Okay. What'll it be?
Harold cleared his throat.
I wish,
he began, speaking carefully,
that the nuclear strong force was, weaker.
The genie blinked.
Well, what do you mean by weaker?
Harold thought for a moment.
Let's, I guess, hell, we can just get rid of it altogether.
The genie hesitated for a long second.
You, sure about this, mister?
Harold nodded confidently.
Yes, sir, I sure am. Anything for my boy.
With an uncertain roll of the eyes, the genie cracked the fingers of both his hands and nodded.
Okay, then. Here goes.
The genie slapped his hands together, and every atom, everywhere in the entire universe spontaneously broke into its component parts, reducing all matter to homogeneous mush. The end.
Appalachian Coal Mines by Midair Machine is licensed under an attribution license. Roll Jordan Roll Bumper Guitar 2 by the Joy Drops is licensed under an attribution license, as is Roll Jordan Roll by the Joy Drops.